Hey guys, Marshall from Limited Resources, and we are jumping into a Rise of the Eldrazi. I love this set. There it is. Big giddy up right on the front page, and here we are. We've opened up a Splinter Twin here, which I believe is worth some amount of tickets on Magic Online, as this is the only place it's been printed, so I'm probably going to take it. That being said, it's actually not awful. Like, there's a few creatures in here that you can get it on that really do some pretty neat things. Risky though, so we'll have to keep an eye on it. Forked Bolt would certainly be near the top of my list as far as picks from this pack. Vendetta and Halimar Wave Watch as well. Kiln Fiend was a popular strategy. I don't think I'd first pick it there, but it was definitely a thing. Alright, so there's a Wall of Omens, which I like a lot. There's also a Flame Slash, Evolving Wilds, Knight of Cliffclaven, as we called him. Probably just a Flame Slash here. I think just keeping it simple, staying on color. I mean, we don't have to run Splinter Twin, but we might end up running it. Otherwise, I like the Wall quite a bit, but yeah, we're just going to go with the Flame Slash here and kind of see where the road takes us. The generally accepted best two-color combo in this format, by the way, this is one of my favorite formats, was red-green. It gave you the opportunity to have the removal you needed plus the flexibility to enable splashes and also get ramp enough to cast some really nice, big game-ending spells. So a lot of options there. My favorite deck in the format, though, was the Defender deck, the Walls deck, based around Vent Sentinel and also Overgrown Battlement. Those are the cards that really catch my eye when I'm drafting the format, but you know how it is. It's a draft. You got to kind of go with what you get. Okay, so there's a Surikar Spellblade, which is kind of interesting. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, you get to put a charge counter on him. Whenever he deals combat damage, you draw cards for that many counters. The problem is he doesn't have evasion. Like, he looks like he would have maybe Island Walk or something because he's floating around in the water, but he doesn't. So that's not really much of an option. Some of the other powerful cards or just good cards in this pack. Venerated Teacher's one to keep an eye on, mainly in blue-white, but you can net 8, 10, 12 worth of mana just from casting that guy. Again, Kiln Fiend can be a thing, especially with cards like Distortion Strike, but unfortunately you kind of need both. Evolving Wilds is the card that I'm really looking at to pick here. I just want to keep my options open, as this pack isn't really great. That isn't like a particularly exciting pack of Magic cards there anyway. What does this do again? Oh yeah, that one's funny. Not a good card, but a funny one. So what are we looking at here? Well, there's a Core Line Slinger. I like that card quite a bit. It does take out a bunch of really pesky things. There's also just a good old Goblin Arsonist. He's fine. Also on color. Not very exciting, though. Rapid Flames can do a big hit late in the game. It can take out a bunch of spawn tokens or maybe like a utility guy and a spawn token and then enable a good attack. And then Stalwart Shield Bearers is pretty decent if you're in that type of deck, but which we're currently not. So I like it down between these two. And I'll take the Line Slinger. I think it's better enough to warrant dipping our toe into another color here. Ooh, this is a good pack. Jeez. First things first, the rarest Gelatinous Genesis. This thing is insane. Yeah, that's 3 X's. Put XXX green ooze creature tokens onto the battlefield. So once, if you do it for 3 mana, so 1, 1, and then the green, you get X, so 1, 1, 1 oozes. Yeah, that's pretty lame. But if you can get up to 5 and you do it for 2, so X equals 2, so 2, 4, 5, you get 2 2/2s for 5, which is already decent. And after that, it gets stupid. 3 3/3s is dumb. Unfortunately, there's also a Flame Slash, which we could also use, but I think I'm just going to go ahead and take this Gelatinous Genesis. It's splashable. We might be in green anyway, and it's very powerful late in the game. All right, not a lot here for us. There's a Grotag Siege Runner. There is a Donglair Invoker, though. That card's quite good as well. I'm going to take that. I'd like to see some ramp here in the form of, Emrakul's Hatcher. Like, basically the cards that give us a bunch of the O1 Eldrazi spawn tokens, because this is kind of a one-shot. You know, you just need something huge. Sometimes you just need to get Dawnglare Invoker active once to win the game. Okay, another good pack. These packs have been pretty stacked. There's a Totem Guide Heartbeast. When it enters the battlefield, you get to search your library for an aura, which can be really good. It's also just a pretty solid 2/5 body. There's also a Boar Umbra, which is big. Look at that. +3/+3, plus Totem Armor. Tough to kill, tough to deal with. I really like Seagate Oracle a ton, but unfortunately we're not really in a position to play it currently. I'm just going to take this Heartbeast, actually. I like Praise Vengeance too, by the way, but I think we might be able to get some value out of this. Not much going here. There's a Rune Servitor that gets us each a card when it dies. It's also a 2/2 for 2 colorless. And then there's this Shield Bearers, which, it can do some things. But, yeah, I guess I'll just take this over the Servitor. I could also take a Haze Frog and try to Splinter Twin it. The old Fog Frog. None of these are really exciting, though. I'll just take the Shield Bearers. Yeah, that seems good. Battle Rampart, Shield Bearers. If we do pick up some Vent Sentinels, you know me, I'm always looking for those. Maybe we'll just slip over into that strategy a little bit too. Nomad's Assembly. What do you get? A bunch of 1/1s for each. Yeah. So unfortunately, it's sort of a win more. Like if you're doing good, then you do better. But that's not great. So I think I'm just going to take this Lagak Lizard. I like it a little better than the Tunneler. The Tunneler's okay, though. Yeah, we'll take it here. So we're looking red-white here so far. Maybe a splash. This next pack will help dictate where we go color-wise a lot more. We'll have a much better feel after the second pack for where we're going to be at. But we could just be red-white. Call it a day. I'm definitely going to cut this Leaf Arrow here. I don't want it to nail our Dawnglare Invoker. Wow, that's really late for that card. That card's totally fine. Basically, you choose a target creature or player, but you got to do it first. Sorry, and then you reveal cards from the top of your library until you hit something that's not a land. It does damage to whatever you picked equal to the converted mana cost, and you get to draw the card too. Wow, another one. All right, yeah. So that's probably going to make the cut in our deck. It's actually quite good. All right, let's see what we pick up here. Well, not a ton of great stuff. There's an Eldrazi Temple. It taps for colorless, or it taps for 2 if you're going to cast an Eldrazi, like this one, which is a fine one. There's also another Explosive Revelation that we could take. As far as white goes, there's a Shield Bearers and a Glory Seeker, neither of which we really want at all. As far as green goes, if we do want to kind of slip over in that direction a bit, there's a Nest Invader, which is quite good. A Jotty Lifestrider, which is just okay. I kind of like either the Crusher or the Revelation, and I think I'm just going to take the Crusher here. Sure, we don't have all the mana ramp yet, but maybe we'll get there. Ooh, what is this? What do we have here? It is still pretty early in pack 2. I could probably dedicate a pick to this and not feel too guilty about myself. What will we be passing? Well, not really much. If we ended up in green, we'd love this guy, but we're still not really heavy in green yet. We could wheel this Brood Birthing. That helps get stuff like this going, but not a very good card. Gigantomancer is pretty sweet, but super risky. I mean, you're paying 8 mana for a 1/1. If they just kill it before you get a chance to get that mana up to start activating stuff, then oops. Yeah, I'm going to take Vent Sentinel. You know I'm going to do it. It's not like I have a choice here. Oh, this pack sucks. Surreal Memoir. What do we get back? A Flame Slash? Ugh. That's not very good. Yeah, there's just really not much here for us, unfortunately. This pack is disturbingly bad. Soul's Attendant or Raid Bombardment are kind of our choices. Sure. All right, this one's a bit better. This one's got a lot more going on. There's a guard duty. Core Spirit Dancer doesn't look like what we're going to be doing here. But guard duty and reinforced bulwark are both decent for our deck. The bulwark really does shore up any race situations, and it can help with if we do end up with a few more Vent Sentinels. The guard duty can also do that, and it blanks big creatures. So we're just going to take the guard duty here and kind of not worry about it much. There's an Inquisition, which is worth, I don't know, a ticket or something like that. So that's something that we could consider. There's not really much else going on here either. There's a Traitorous Instinct. You can see what that does. Just a threaten effect that costs 4. That can be a really good card, but it often isn't. There's another Goblin Arsonist. I don't think I'm just going to take the Arsonist or maybe the Inquisition. Yeah, I'll just take a ticket. Sure. Ooh. Some decent stuff here. I really like Rage Nimbus. Rage Nimbus makes them attack into you. And if you can pick up one of those, what is it called? Battle Rampart? No, I can't remember. But there's that equipment that allows your creature to attack. And that thing can really get you. Oh, that's Battle Rampart. You know what I meant, though. Yeah, I'm going to take this Rage Nimbus. It kind of acts as removal, too. Another Guard Duty or a Smite. I'll take the Guard Duty. Ooh, buddy. Oh, I've got a smile on my face. More. That was the last one that we could get to. Explosive Revelation. Yeah, I'll take another one. It's good removal. 2 Vent Sentinels. What's a boy to do? We can make a bunch of defenders on our side if we need to, but ideally we pick up a few more here. They usually are around. You can pick up those, the colorless one, or you can pick up the Ogre Sentry, the 3/3 for 1 in a red that has defender. That thing holds down the ground great. And really does set up nice Vent Sentinels. Same thing with Rage Nimbus. Battle Rampart. Yeah. I don't think this Tunneler is going to make the cut in the deck. We're definitely looking to be a control deck here. We're looking to sit back. I mean, we're not going to be attacking much. Just outright attacking much. This is an interesting one. The Hyena Umbra is actually a reasonable choice here because we do have this Totem Guide Heartbeast, and we want to be able to search up something with it. So I'm going to take it here, though it still might not make the cut. It just depends. None of these really do anything, so we'll just cut the trick so that we don't have to mess around with that too much. I like this deck. We need some more defenders in the early part, though. And I would like to pick up one of those equipment, and of course as many of these as we can get. 2 is okay. 3 to 4 is where you want to be. Anything above that, and it's just pure happy land. Oh, there we go. Dink. Yeah, this one's pretty good. It actually does a lot more work than it looks like it would. It looks like a pretty unexciting card. And I mean, I'm not going to lie, it's not a thrill ride or anything, but the thing, it does work. It really does. The more you have, you just get this weird inevitability thing where they're like, well, I can't attack with anything now because you can block, some of my guys, and then the ones that are going to get through are supposed to hit you for 3 or 4, and instead they're hitting you for 1 or 2 thanks to this. And I mean, all you need is time with these bad boys around. All right, let's see. Ooh, Consuming Vapors. That's a good one. Man, that's a good card. There's also an Overgrown Battlement, which is exactly what this deck wants. Although Overgrown Battlement on the splash is much less good. It's still okay, though. This is actually a really tough choice. This is a card we want, and this is a card we want as well. There's really nothing great for us in our colors. McKinney Griffin's just kind of whatever. Spawning Breath is fine, but not great. The best card is this or this. Vapors varies wildly in this format. Sometimes it's just the best thing you could possibly do, and you just completely destroy people with it, and other times you hit a couple of spawn tokens and you just cry. I'm going to take the Battlement here. I just think it's the best card in the pack. Speaking of the best card in the pack. And even on a splash, it can come down and do stuff later, like even if it takes a little while to get onto the battlefield. Welp, you know what we're doing. Not a big choice on that one. Okay, so what do we have here? There's a Brood Birthing, no. Outrider, no, not really. This one's worth considering, though. So this one really messes with everything. Level it up. So it's an 0-3, not Defender, unfortunately, but it's an 0-3, and then once you get it leveled up once, it becomes a 1-4, which is pretty sweet, and it says if a source would deal damage to you or creature you control, prevent one of that damage. That's just for everything. It just happens all the time. So I'm going to take it. I love this Ondu Giant there, but that really is more along the lines of splashing your fixing, which isn't what you want to be doing. What does Vindicator do? It pumps all your guys? Yeah, but it's super slow, super expensive. I think I'd much rather have this Prophetic Prism or this McKindy Griffin. And I think in this case, I'm actually just going to take the Prism. I like being able to dig through our deck, and I like the fact that it enables our green splash even better. And for no mana. Oh, geez. You guys. This might be my favorite limited card of all time right here. Oh, man. I mean, I'm not going to take it. I'm going to take this Heat Ray because we just want the removal. But, oh, my God. That card is so amazing. Hopefully we'll have the honor of Heat Ray in it. Ooh. Some reasonable stuff here. I kind of got my dream here, though. I picked up the Warmonger's Chariot, and I think I need to just take it. Yeah, I'm just going to take it. I mean, Smite's the other option here. But I feel like our removal's pretty good. We have double Guard Duty for huge stuff. We have a double Explosive Revelation for not as huge stuff, and a Heat Ray to kind of try to get people. So I feel like Smite's just okay in our deck. I love this one too, by the way. But I'm going to take the Chariot. That's the card I was talking about earlier that we wanted. And ding. All right. So we are now officially into where we want to be territory as far as how many Vent Sentinels we have. We pick up another Bulwark. We're definitely going to jam that. Yeah, the only cards that I'm kind of sad that we don't have, but we have proxies for are the Ogre Sentries down here. They really do a great job of kind of locking things up. All right, this is a much tougher spot. So there's a McKindy Griffin and a Grotag Siege Runner. The Siege Runner, kind of gets us, right? Like, not awful. It's still just 1-for-1s, but like it can help break up our combo. But the McKinney Griffin's like really just a totally good card. Yeah, I feel like I need to take the Griffin here. We don't need to run the Lizard. We're not going to run Soul's Attendant. We're probably not going to run this. We might not run the Heart of Beast. Actually, wait, I can search this up with the Heart of Beast. That might be a thing. All right, another Line Slinger or another Arsonist. Oh, we never took that first Arsonist. So a Line Slinger or an Arsonist. Yeah, I like the Line Slinger here. They deal with similar things, but one of them does a better job. For example, if they play like a 1-mana mana producer of some sort, you can actually use the Line Slinger to basically make that non-existent, and you can't do that with the other guy. All right, Wave Watch is really good. We did wheel the Brood Birthing, but we're not going to play it because we don't have any other way to make these things. So we either have to decide if we want another 2-drop, a reasonable survival cache here that can really get people, or just this thing. I'm going to take the 2. I don't know if we're going to run it. It's very clunky. You see the level up costs 4. 2/6 Vigilance, though, is pretty tough to get through. That being said, I think that we're not going to have a problem with that anyway. I'm going to slam another McKindy Griffin. We'll probably start one and put the other one in the yard, or in the sideboard, excuse me. All right, I'm just going to cut a Wave Watch here. We're not going to run both of those white cards anyway. All right, we made a deck. We've got a bunch of cuts to make, but I think it'll be pretty straightforward. Defender. God, I love that card. All right, so Guard Duty. We're going to put this to the side. I think we're going to run this Crusher, but I'm not 100% on that. Line Slinger, yes. You're a maybe. You're in. You're definitely in. And then we're going to put all these in to start with, though I don't know that they're all going to actually make the cut in the end. Tunneler's probably out. Rampart, Nimbus, Lizard's probably out. Oh, yeah. Do that. I'm going to put this Splinter Twin over here because what we're going to do is we're going to look back and see what it actually hits that we care about. Battlement, Bulwark, Chariot, Prism. All right, so this is what our deck would look like. This is 27 cards, so we clearly have some cuts to make. Splinter Twin, what do you do for us? Well, let's just look. No, that's not a thing. Makes a copy of this. That doesn't do anything. Makes a copy of this. Does something, but isn't that impressive. Same thing with this. Same thing with this. Definitely the same thing with that. This doesn't really get better in multiples. Purist does. That's kind of interesting. We'd have to copy it and level it up, though, and that's something that you'd want to do on your opponent's turn, and you can't, so that's probably not a real thing. Rage Nimbus, definitely not. Griffins, Vent Sentinels. Yeah, so I don't think that we're going to actually run Splinter Twin, and if we're not going to run that, we don't need the Hard Beast either. We still need to make quite a few more cuts here. I think we can cut a Line Slinger pretty easily. Like they're really good versus some decks and really not that good versus other decks, so let's just hedge there. Same thing with an Explosive Revelation. It's not the kind of card that you want to have a ton of in your hand. You just want to kind of use it to take out something with 1 or 2 toughness ideally. It's just too tough to gamble otherwise. Though our curve is, we can hit 3, 4, and up pretty consistently, though remember, this is what it looks like. So we've got the bulk of our stuff here, but there's a ton of stuff for 1 and 2 that we're going to be hitting for Explosive Revelation that makes it a lot worse. In fact, we can probably just wait on that and see if we actually need it. This brings us to 23. Another thing I can do is I can put this in. I can cut 1 McKindy Griffin. That seems fine as well. Another thing I can do is cut the Ulamog's Crusher. We don't really have a reliable way to get up to Ulamog's Crusher mana. But I just like to run one of these in a deck like this because if you look at the game plan, what happens very often is, so look, all these are removal, so that's going to blank 3 of their guys, right? This isn't a thing. This is a finisher for us. Line Slinger's removal. And then these are both good blockers, obviously. Bulwark, blocker. This thing can attack. This thing can but won't. This thing blocks. These all block. You get the theme here, right? We're not really going to be attacking at any point with anything that's going to like get in for damage and kill them. The only thing that we really could is like the McKinney Griffin and the Invoker. Everything else is just relying on this type of shenanigans. And what that means is the game tends to go long. Like if you go, let's just say we go Shield Bearers, Bulwark, Sentinel. That's a pretty reasonable line of things that could happen for us here. If we do that, I mean, any type of ground attack is just stopped. Like they can't get through that. So now the game just goes forever, and eventually we hit 8 mana thanks to either our Overgrown Battlement, which makes like 5 mana, or we just build up enough land drops, and then we drop the Crusher and start smashing them. That gives us this and this are both options for that kind of game plan. If that doesn't happen, if they don't interrupt us and they can't hit us, then we just Vent Sentinel them out. We have places to put our mana every turn anyway. So that's kind of why I like to have a fatty laying around. Now the McKinney Griffin, though, is quite sweet. It really does a good job of locking down the air. It's a 2/4 with flying. It blocks extremely well. The problem is I don't know that we want our 6th 4-drop in the deck. That's starting to push it a little bit. Remember, we're not really ramping. Like we have Overgrown Battlement. If we get lucky and get that on turn 2, then we have Explosive Ramp. But for the most part, we're not going to be doing that. We're just not going to, have access to that early. We'll have it later in the game, but not quite that early. And that means that, we really do need to plan on just having this type of stuff happen. So I think I'm going to do it like this, and then we can sort of see what we're up against. If we think they have a good amount of flyers or small creatures, like if we're playing like the blue-red or the blue-white deck, then this comes in, and this comes in, and we can take out some of our beefy stuff because we know that we can just beat them with our regular stuff. All right, so let's get this Evolving Wilds and add some lands here. We just need 1 forest, I think. Let's take a look how this looks. Yeah, I feel like just one forest is fine. We essentially have two thanks to the Evolving Wilds, and then the Prophetic Prism is the third source. So that gives us 3 sources of green mana for a really late game green spell, and then occasionally a lucky early green spell. And again, this card's totally sweet late in the game too. I mean, it just makes so much mana in a deck like this. All right, let's submit this thing and see what it can do.